Turn that on.
I'll prep it up. Thumbs up.
Yeah, well, then we can grandpa.
I'll get you one of your IDs.
Yeah.
What? No, I did not get a chance to.
Sounds like he was busy.
It was pretty good. But Dad's got to be back to the floor and commodes all the way in and carpet. I need Jimmy, if I get back.
Ready?
I did catch that, but I didn't go back over the revised.
All right, Harley, we're on. We're on? All right. I call this meeting of the Young County Commissioners Court to order. Let the record show it is 9:33 a.m. All 5 members of the court are present. We're streaming live on our YouTube channel. If you're watching and you'd like to call in and make a comment, the phone number is 940-221-2107. If you're able, please stand for an invocation and pledges. Commissioner Craig has the honors today.
Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we assemble here before you for the purpose of leading this, our home, Young County, Texas, in a direction that ensures the very best future for all that we serve. We once again ask for your guidance as we humbly and diligently seek the path forward for the greatest common good. We pray that we judge wisely before you, uphold that which is true. We pray for clear insight and balance in judgment. Please grant us your divine wisdom to decipher which is the best direction forward. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Alan. We'll move into public comments.
Good morning. We are dealing with some of the wealthiest and most powerful companies in history. I'm going to say that again. We are dealing with some of the wealthiest and most powerful companies in history. I have a personal question for each of you. Have any of you signed an NDA with a solar, wind, data center, Bitcoin company?
Nope.
I have not.
Will you?
I will not.
I'm not gonna ask them to sign that.
They don't? Okay. Just a question. Okay, I met with a group the other day, and Tom said something that I just can't forget. When they're talking about asking for our wastewater treatment, hooked to the sewer, why do they want that access? And they said they do not want septic due to environmental issues. Tom said the solution to pollution is dilution. So they're just wanting to hook onto the sewer system to dilute it with the city of Graham's water. And that's very concerning to me. So that's something we need to make sure that we look into.
Excuse me, see, that's how you quoted me. All wastewater treatment is diluted.
Mhm.
That's how the system works.
Yes, yeah, I understand that, but
Okay, just,
to me, I wasn't quoting you in a bad way.
no, and I'm not taking it as that, but that's how those systems work.
Mhm. But it was concerning to me that they don't want a septic because it's not diluted enough. It would be a concern to me.
TCQ will require that they have discharge levels that are acceptable before they get to a wastewater plant.
Okay.
So that we run into that with tower extrusion, so we have that, it's readily available throughout the county, that's here, that information's here.
Okay, thank you. All right, I have a question about the Tapadero Solar Agreement, or pilot agreement. When re-watching, I was here at Commissioner's Court, but I watched the YouTube video again of the last Commissioner's Court meeting, and when Mr. Donnell asked for some clarification, at 1 hour and 16 minutes into the Commissioner's Court, Mr. Donnell asked about the value of the assets, and you stated it was around $500 million. And during your weekly Facebook post, you said that there, meaning Titus, rendered the value at $264.6 million. What is the true value of that?
You don't know the true value until they actually build it. They rendered a value of $264 million. Our pilot payments back into a value of $500 million.
Okay.
So you don't know, you won't know the value till they build it. They don't know the value yet.
Okay. Can you tell me why, and you've told us all repeatedly, why we give a tax abatement or a pilot agreement?
There's a lot of reasons why you do it.
But what have you told us over and over?
Huh?
Over and over, you've told us it's for control, right? So you have some
Well,
sort
it's for
of
several
control.
things. It's also to keep ourselves out of court.
Yeah.
Because, we don't want to get, it keeps us out of a lawsuit. It gives everybody a defined amount of what the tax will be paid. And it's a big unknown because there will be, typically there's a big battle with the appraisal on those things.
When Doug and I came and met with you, I said, why would you give a tax abatement? And you said, so we have some kind of control. And that's what we've all heard over and over. So you have some type of control. Can you show me in that tax abatement proposal, pilot agreement that you handed out at the last meeting where it addresses noise, dark skies, dust abatement, anything? Our control is not in there.
Okay.
I didn't see it anywhere in there.
The one thing that was harped in, we don't want to see it. That was the number one thing that I heard from people. And we got a
Do they want
75
to
foot.
hear it?
Huh?
Do they want to hear it? Do
I'm-
they want
Are-
dark skies at night?
Are solar plant farms loud?
Well, no, well, you
I
might
mean,
not
they're
address
not.
that one, but what
They're
about
not
during
loud.
construction?
Huh?
During construction, is it gonna be dark skies out there? Is it going to be 24/7 construction? We didn't address that in the,
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry.
then another thing I heard is that we wanted we wanted the construction to be as painless as possible, which to me means as quick as possible. And so we didn't want to do anything that would slow down construction. We want that to be as quick and get it over with as possible, because once it's over, it's gonna be fairly invisible.
Yeah.
It is. You're not gonna see it from your house. You're not.
But I ride up on the hill, you can sure see
Well, I
it.
mean, I'm sure you can find a place where you're gonna see it. You're not gonna see it from your house. You're not.
When you're being naive.
You think you're gonna see it from your house?
No, I cannot see in my house because I live below the hill.
Okay.
But
I just think
my-
these
My
kind-
land goes a lot more than in front porch of my house. And then I'm gonna see it, yeah. And I'm
I
gonna
just
hear
think
it.
these protections should be a given in any tax abatement pilot program, in this one and all of the other ones that look to be coming.
Okay. Thank you.
I really do. Okay, what are the ongoing costs in the future? We're gonna, they gave the 300,000 for
Ongoing
volunteering.
costs.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
what if that thing catches on fire? Those lithium batteries don't go out. Are they gonna cover the cost of something like that? Ongoing cost of law enforcement, additional law enforcement, firefighters. I know they gave the 300,000 and that's great, but that's one time and that doesn't help us in the future.
They're gonna be paying a significant amount of taxes for that.
Yeah, those kind of costs don't, and if you look at the data center, those kind of costs, stop at the end of 10 years or after the initial lump sum payment of the 300,000. Just some questions I hope that are addressed before this is approved.
Okay.
And can they be addressed during the reinvestment zone? Like the noise and the dark skies, that type of thing?
I mean, everything, yes, you can address that. Everybody, we can all be, it can continue to be discussed until it's signed.
Okay, I'd like to see those things put in, that one and others if they come.
Thank you. Floor's yours.
Thank you, Judge Williams. You've been a busy man, I've been trying to see you all week. So, anyway, know you're working hard. I'm gonna have a couple of quick yes and no questions, and then I want to have a couple of, one other question.
Okay.
Has Tampaderas either promised or threatened or even implied that you would have a lawsuit if you don't give them a tax payment? I need a yes or no.
Have they
Have they-
threatened? No.
Have they-
No.
No.
Where you gonna get that idea then?
You look around the state of Texas and you see all these other projects going in. You look every time an Encore line goes in, every time a big pipeline goes in, anytime a major investment goes in, there is typically a lawsuit or a threat of a lawsuit between them and the appraisal district on the value. That's just,
All I'd say to that is Callahan County, which is one county south of the county where Albany is, they put a solar farm in down there, it's just gotten completed. County did not give a tax abatement, they have not done a lawsuit, okay? So it's not a rubber stamp deal,
okay,
okay? Until you said you hadn't signed a non-disclosure agreement on anything. There's not one in your memorandum of surface waiver agreement,
no,
there's not?
I don't think
Good,
so.
everybody else's. I have a copy of it, I hadn't read yours close, but everybody else's has one in it.
I don't think there's one in mine,
Well,
but I'll have to go back and look at
I'll
it.
go back and read it, I didn't bring a full copy.
Yeah.
I think there's one in there.
A non-disclosure agreement?
Of course, there's a
I
reason.
don't know, maybe there is, I don't know, I haven't looked
Of
at
course,
it.
your agreement calls for 1 year, 2.5 times the payment the other royalty owners are getting. At 10 years, it's 25 times as much as the royalty owners are getting. And at 20 years, it's 50 times as much. So I don't know, yes, those.
Where'd you come up with that?
Just third grade math.
Were you talking?
Yours is for every year, Win. You told me that.
Well,
Theirs is a one-time payment for $100. Okay?
Oh, okay, I see what you're doing. Okay,
Okay,
fair
that's what I'm
enough.
talking about.
Fair enough.
Don't play dumb with me, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I misunderstood what you were trying to say.
No, you didn't. Okay. I know you did. Okay. It's been said that if you don't get a certificate of tax abatement, then you can't get pilot payment. And it's also been stated that by someone in this room that should know that if they even sign the pilot payment program, even if they don't build it, or even if they don't go to completion, if they're obligated for the 10 year, or at least the 10 years of that agreement, to pay it.
No,
Is that correct?
Nobody said that.
Tom?
Nobody has said that.
Tom, you're up.
During the conversation, I don't know how I became a spokesman for y'all, but let's just say.
Because you brought that up.
No, because we were talking about tax abatements in general and how development
Pilot payments,
projects, and
pilot payments.
how your meeting that you called was a tax abatement. You want to split hairs, we'll split
But the
hairs.
discussion we
You
were
called
having-
You called a meeting for tax abatements. We got off talking on how pilot payments came up.
Sure.
Because that's what they have constructed.
Right, okay.
Pilot payments can be enforced in a court of law.
But the-
I don't know what theirs is.
Okay.
I told you there,
Okay.
but I hadn't read
All right,
anything other than.
so
the
that's coming from-
let me finish. This is what you did to me the other day. The finances are the only thing that I looked at. How the agreement was constructed, I did not investigate. I was there to find out the information that you all had. So, how they are done, pilots can be written to their satisfaction and to the individual that agrees to it. That is a contract, that they can put many items in it. Just as Aaron wants this in, and we've discussed putting these things in, all of these can be done. So,
I thought I had the floor, by the way, but anyway.
If you're gonna speak about what I
Anyway,
said,
no.
I'm gonna bring it up. They
No,
can't
no,
address
you're
it
gonna
because
butt
they
in.
weren't there.
No, you're gonna butt in like you
Go
did the
ahead.
other day. But that's what he said the other day.
I did.
That's what he
Absolutely
said.
did.
Huh? I don't
You
care what,
take-
but I'm just trying to clarify. So that's not the case. So that's not the case.
So,
Right or wrong?
what is not the case? We've talked about a bunch of different
They
things.
said that if they even sign the contract, if they are obligated and they have to pay the agreed upon, pilot payment. for the
If
10-year
they
program.
never build a solar farm, they don't have to pay a pilot.
Well, the other day was if they even signed the agreement.
Who said that though?
Tom,
Well,
Well, he has nothing to do with this.
I know, but that just clarifying this because we get so many confusing things going on. Thank you for clarifying. I didn't think that was the case either. Another question, why do you think a solar farm, Chapadera, wants a tax abatement?
I think they want a tax abatement for several reasons. One, it provides them protection from us raising our tax rate. It gives them a defined maximum tax exposure. It allows them to even their tax payments over 10 years. So instead of paying more in years 1, 2, 3, they can even it out. And so they get to take advantage of the time value of money, which is more important to them than it is to the county, because we can't invest the money like they, we don't have, our cost of money is different than their cost of money. Those are the biggest reasons.
Well, in year one, without a tax abatement, the first payment would be $2.7 million. Not a lot, without a tax abatement.
Depends on what they build.
That depends on what the value is.
Well, at 500
And we
million, at 500 million that
Do
y'all.
you believe that 500 million would go through YCAT?
Y'all gave us that number, that's all we can deal with. I don't know what the Wildcat would do. But
That's how I
but we've got to
control it.
we've got to keep
Over.
keep moving.
So you're-
You guys keep moving the target on us.
Over
It's
it.
all
It's
relevant.
not a concrete number,
Well,
Tommy, and you keep taking it
It's,
as concrete.
well, okay, I'm using that as that's the only thing I have to work with.
Over 10
Okay.
years, they will
Listen,
pay us
can I
more
just
dollars.
finish?
Yeah, go ahead. You keep asking us questions and you want us to
No.
respond, but you don't want us to respond.
Are you through? I'll let you finish up this.
So from what you were stating, where I believe you're going with this, is over a 10-year period, they will pay more dollars to Young County through the pilot program than they would through taxes without a tax abatement.
The difference is $3 million. And I brought all of them in a spreadsheet, I emailed it to you, and tried to get an appointment, you can talk to you about it, see if it's right or wrong. You would take my meeting.
Well, I saw you here several times, but you were hanging out
No,
in the clerk's office.
I texted you twice.
I know you did.
And emailed you once,
I know.
and also called you once.
I know you did.
And you avoided it, right?
I
Why?
did not take the
Why?
call.
Why?
Because Tommy, we've hashed over the same things
No.
over and
This is
over
new-
and
this is-
over
this is new
again.
business. I asked you,
Tommy,
I wanted to go
Tommy,
with
this
it.
is public comment on this. This is
I
not
understand.
personal.
Well, I know, but I'm responding to what he said.
This is not personal. Please keep it on the subject.
We're 7 minutes into the deal.
Okay.
We're allowed time.
Well, part of that's been when, and this fella back here talking, so I reclaim my time. Is that what they say on the court?
I guess, Tommy.
One, it's a better business deal for them than it is us, is the reason they want one.
You think?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna quit, I've got
One
some more
thing.
questions. But will you take my meeting and let's talk about the rest of these things in private?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All right.
I mean, a couple of ones have already sort of stole my thunder on putting these in there, but I just wanted to clarify a couple of points on, you know, when you said that, you know, I kept harping on, don't want to see it, don't want to see it. I think you misinterpreted that. I didn't want to see it, period. I didn't want it to come.
I get you, but, and I respect that.
And where I'm coming from and where I think most of us are coming from is this tax abatement agreement, if it's gotta come. I mean, if you're gonna vote on it, I know you hadn't done it yet, but it's, you know, there's a lot of lawyerese in here that looks like it's way down the track. If it's gotta come, the citizens of Young County want some protections, and I'm very biased, because I'm right next to it, and these are sort of my deal, you know, with, where they don't have construction 24 hours a day.
Mhm.
And, you know, I don't think that's gonna help them get through with it any quicker. It might, but, you know, if they do 24 hours a day, they're gonna have to have tons of lights out there, and then there goes the dark sky thing. Okay, the dirt, you know, there's gotta have some kind of dirt control on there, whether that's water trucks going up and down or not. That's where I'm coming from. And then the sound, everybody says that it don't make sound. But if you research this, you've got inverters on the end of each one of those panels. And when you're converting DC to AC, there is a sound. Now, it may not be the giant sound that a Bitcoin makes, but then it goes back into the transformers, and those transformers have to be cooled, the batteries have to be cooled, all of those are sounds. Right now, I can sit on my front porch and have a 30 decibel. When nothing there, it'll go up to about 45 when the birds start singing. That's what I want to keep. And I think all of the citizens are coming, and same way with this data center that's going in, if we don't put teeth in this thing here that sets a standard, then when it comes to a data center, you're not gonna have any leg to stand on to put sound or construction work in there. That's where I'm coming from, to consider this and holding their feet to the fire. They may be the greatest citizens in the world, but I think we need to have something there that makes them a good citizen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan?
Can you help clarify, so you made the comment on Facebook and then just reiterated that the pilot payment for Tapaderos is more than what they would pay in the regular tax rates. How can we say that when we don't know what the actual value is going to end up being?
Well, the way the pilot payment works is it's got a floor, so it doesn't matter how small the farm is, there's a floor that they have to pay. But as the farm gets bigger and bigger, the pilot payment goes up with it. So it's going to adjust with it. And the reason I made that claim is there's been 2 big solar farms that went on the tax rolls this year. And so to try to make it apples to apples, I broke what the appraisal district valued those farms at per installed megawatt, and then compared it to what our pilot payment's gonna require per installed megawatt. And our pilot payment's gonna be significantly higher than what both of those appraisal districts came out with evaluation.
From other projects.
from other projects that went on the tax rolls this year. So they're the two most modern ones that I could find that went on the tax rolls this year.
Were these in Young County?
Well, no, there were in other counties. There was nothing going on in Young County that I could use.
Okay, is there anything that would prohibit the value to be significantly more than the 500 million you're saying it's backed into? Like, could it be 750 million?
Could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm clarifying this because the public's getting some speak that says that this thing is better because of how it's been negotiated rather than actually playing out as a regular tax. And I want the public to understand that is a personal opinion, not a fact.
And it's based off of, there's research that you can get that shows that every year the cost for every installed megawatt of solar power goes down. And so as they're making more and more and more, the cost is going down. And so on that also is another, everything's an opinion. You can't, there's no way to prove this out until after it has been installed and the 10 years are over. Then you can go with hindsight with 100% certainty. So yes, it is an opinion.
The 100% certainty though would come after the agreement was signed and made, correct? So
The 100% certainty would become 10 years after the completion and the start of operations. So you would have to wait and see how the appraisal district appraises it all 10 years. So, I mean, there's no way to have certainty till about 12, 13, 14 years out.
okay, so what would be the purpose of saying something like that without it being certain?
Well, because I believe it to be true based on the evidence that I put into my post. And I use what other appraisal districts have valued these things at. I've got research on how the cost of the parts, how they're forecasted going out. I mean, it's, everything you're saying is your opinion, everything I'm saying is my opinion. At this
I'm
point,
just asking
there's
questions.
no way to, I get your point. I get your point. I believe it to be true, though.
Okay, thank you.
Isn't also a pilot payment ensuring that taxes stay here and not go elsewhere if we don't have a pilot?
Well, we guarantee the sales tax
Okay.
is here. So the one thing the pilot payment does is it ensures the sales tax gets
Without an
gets
abatement,
charged.
we can't do that, though, right?
Yeah, it's up to them.
And I believe that the verbiage, if I remember from reading it correctly, is that they're gonna do their due diligence to make sure that happens, so there's nothing to guarantee.
Not on the sales tax. The sales tax is required, is a requirement of the contract.
Okay, I thought you were just speaking to the verbiage that they would buy from here and everything.
Well, that's for local vendors and employee, construction and all that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name's Haley Castillo. A little nervous, so I wrote down my thoughts.
Okay.
I was born and raised here in Graham. In fact, my mother still lives in the same house on Spotty Hill where I was brought home from hospital. Other than leaving, I guess, 2 years for college, Graham's always been home to me. My husband and I now live on FM 3003, and our fence line directly borders the proposed data center site, so
Okay.
where they split over. So our fence line goes right along there. So this isn't abstract for us. It's not a pin on a map. It's my front yard.
Mhm.
I will drive past it every single day. Now, I know on the maps that I've seen, I don't think there's anything directly on that fence line, but it'll affect us. It scares me a lot. When we bought the property, it was meant to be for our forever home. We were gonna raise our kids there. But with this coming, I don't know what it looks like now. I taught in Graham for 15 years. I taught many of your own children, I believe. I teach in Grayford now, and I have for the past 2 years. But I still live here, and I deeply care about protecting our community. Today, I want to ask two things of you. I want you to truly listen to the people of Graham. I want you to be really tough critics when meeting with companies like Tapteris, Stream, and Headwaters. I want you to ask real questions and demand real transparency, not what they want us to think is transparency. One thing that Ocean has said, and he's on the news.
Ocean?
Yes, the VP of the data center. I may be saying his name wrong. Ocean, yes. That stuck with me. Where people think you're transparent, they'll trust you. And to me, that says a lot. There's a difference between transparency and the appearance of transparency. The companies, they know how to say the right things. They're trying to get into these small towns, but saying the right thing is not always the same as being honest or accountable. Many of us still have serious questions about the environmental studies. the water usage, the power demand, and the infrastructure strain. Kind of just the true specs of the project. So as representatives, I really ask y'all to just have our backs and don't accept the assurances, okay? Ask the really hard questions and demand the transparency and proof. If they're coming to Graham, then let them fully pay their share and don't give them breaks for it. Most of us choose to live here because of the simplicity of life here. It's the beauty of the small town. You know, you go downtown and it's beautiful. The safety, the pride that the people feel in this community. Knowing people when you're out and about. It's just the feeling of home to me. If Graham becomes known as a place where massive corporations can push through, then they'll keep coming and we'll lose what that small town is. I want to share something that I personally have observed. I drive to Grover daily. There's a solar farm being built out on Route 37. There's an entrance way off of the main highway there. The lights, you can see them for miles. I mean, it's crazy. The volume of heavy construction equipment, the large trucks going in and out, it's constant. And the road's been torn up badly right along that stretch. If you've gone in, they've kind of tried to patch it, and I think it's made it even worse. But imagine all this happening at once. If we're building a solar farm in Glasgow, the data center is on 209 and 61. There's more proposed ones. You know, I've heard that will be coming to talk to us eventually. That could mean 4 massive construction projects all at once, and pretty much impacting every major road coming into town. So the traffic, the road damage, the safety concerns, that would be overwhelming, and the disruption could last for years. Our way of life wouldn't look the same here. Also, I want to ask you finally about public access. This is the first Commissioners Court meeting I've been able to attend in person. As a teacher, I don't have the ability to take off work in the morning. So I'm asking, when things really matter, like the tax abatements, can we look at holding some of those meetings later in the day or in the evening so that more people can attend those? And if not, what are our options to getting our questions to you guys or our concerns to you guys if we can't be here or watch it live? I do go back and watch all the meetings, but a lot of times I'm not able to watch it live because I'm teaching during that time. So I just want y'all to keep in mind that too, because there's a lot of us that can't go. We have to trust you to represent us. We depend on you guys to protect our community. So I'm asking you to stand with the people, be brave, to slow this down a little bit, demand accountability, and protect the town that we love. Please don't let Graham be something that we no longer recognize. Progress should never cost us our home, our safety, or the soul of the town we love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just for clarification, I'll make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. I've just been told I can't record, although according to the law, it looks like I can, because I'm in the meeting, and it's also being broadcast. Is
No,
that correct?
it's being recorded. I
just want to make sure.
don't know
I'm
what
not
the
doing
rule is about recording
It's
in here for this
on.
meeting. That's for criminal court is what that sign's really meant for, but
It's up to you. I mean, it's up to
Yeah.
the commissioner.
There was a reporter that was told she could not record here.
I wish we had known she was a.
She didn't tell us she was
It
recording.
would have set her up.
The state law looks like it's
All
on
right.
the tennis. I
But
can't,
he's
I don't
not a
have to
reporter.
verify.
All right, I want to call timeout on the public hearing. Let us do the county business, and then at the end, we can come back to the public hearing and we can do more comments if people want to do more comments. But I just want to make sure we can get through the county business, and, because this, this could go indefinitely.
So I need to sit down.
Huh?
So I need to sit
Oh,
down.
you can go ahead. Well, since you're up already, you can go ahead and go. I'm sorry, I didn't see you standing there.
Good morning, I'm Jelaine McFadden. That's G-E-L-E-N-E. And I've already been notified by my watch 3 times that my heart rate is too high, so I'm ready. I live at 894 FM 209. My husband is Eddie McFadden. He spoke in here a couple of weeks ago, so I'm sure you know why I'm here. I've stayed relatively quiet to this point, primarily because I don't understand 90% of what's going on in here. So today I'm speaking from a personal standpoint. I feel compelled to speak today on behalf of my family and our neighbors. In 2016, we were living in the Houston area, and we began thinking about retiring closer to our families in Abilene and Wichita Falls. We drew a circle, a big circle on the map that would put us between those 2 cities. My daughter said to me, "Mama, y'all need to move to Graham. There is always something going on in Graham. Well, she was here this weekend and she said, she was shopping. She lives in Wichita Falls, but she came to Graham shopping. She said, I just love this square. We researched and eventually bought a part of what was once a 6,000-acre cattle ranch belonging to R.W. Deeds. We invested in Young County. We moved a 40-foot shipping container to the ranch, which we called cabin. And for 2.5 years, we lived in that once we moved to Graham. We had purchased a house in town, but I just didn't want to leave the ranch. So mind you, I would prefer to live in 270 square feet on our ranch than to move to a house in town. Since that time, we have worked ourselves half to death, cleaning up that property because we believe in being good stewards of God's earth. We grubbed several acres of mesquite trees, plowed and planted the fields, picked up thousands of rocks by hand. Let me tell you, there's rocks out there. And we dredged beautiful ponds, one of which has never dried up as far as anyone knows. The game camera on our north fence line proves we have an abundance of wildlife through most of the undisturbed acreage. Turkey, deer, bobcats, and of course those hogs, those lovely hogs. Our family loves our ranch. We have a 16-year-old grandson who chose to bring 4 of his friends for his birthday to our ranch for a fishing weekend. When you have a 16-year-old boy who would prefer to be fishing on a ranch, you better take note. The site of the proposed data center will border our property on 2 sides. Fence line. The west and the north. The west side where we sit and watch the sunset will no longer be attractive. Our wildlife will be forced to find a new habitat. Our cattle will no longer graze peacefully in our pastures. Our peace and quiet will cease to exist. You are allowing these people with money and big ideas to steal our investment, our greatest investment, and to turn our lives upside down. And then they have the audacity to ask for a tax abatement. That is ludicrous. When my husband was here, he asked each of you if you would want to live across the fence from this atrocity. And as I recall, you all replied no. I know for certain that Graham did, Wynn did. Would you like to take this opportunity to change your answer? Would you like to change your answer? Would you like to live across the fence line from this solar farm?
No.
Any of the rest of you?
I'm gonna have a place out there, I own 2 places in Loving, it's gonna be a solar farm around both of them. But it's not, they don't live there, nobody driving by there every day.
Okay, I live there. I live there, okay? I lived there.
I live on Highway 114.
No one in their right mind would want to live across the fence. I hereby extend a heartfelt invitation to any of you at the table to come out to our place. I will personally take you on a drive around our property and you'll understand why we love it. I've seen that disgusting mess we were talking about created at the building site of the data center on 351 just outside of Abilene. Traffic is backed up. Dirt haulers are in and out 24/7. The bright lights illuminating the night sky like an airport and road dust hundreds of feet in the air. No, thank you. My daughter was right. There's always something going on in Graham, but most of it is good and fun. Sadly, there's a lot of other stuff not so good going on here. My granddaddy used to say, if you have land, you aren't broke. But that was before wind farms and solar farms and data centers. The a couple of years ago, we fought off flood power from building one section over. And now I can think of nothing I'd rather see than the taillights of Stream Data and all their people headed out of Young County. Just remember that when all is said and done, you will have to give an accounting for the decisions you make, and you ultimately stand to lose a whole lot more than just popularity.
Thank you. We can return to public comments at the end. Let's get through the county business, and then we can continue this if we want.
Do you want to do the 10 o'clock then?
Is it? Oh, let's do the 10 o'clock then. That is item number 10, 10 a.m. Discuss and consider opening sealed bids for calendar year 2026 for tires, tubes, culverts, road materials, and fuel.
We don't need copies of last year's prepare before we get. Make copies of last year's. This is calendar year 25. Start with the road materials. Stevens County limestone. I did not have it at Thursday when I talked to Mr. Wimberly, so he had someone bring it by. Then I received it in the mail just right when he brought it in. So I'm thinking they're the same thing, but I'm gonna open both of them. Let's make sure. It is the same piece of paper. So I know I'm gonna make copies for all y'all. Okay, so on road materials, I received 2 bids, one from Stevens County Limestone and one from Zach Burke. And I tore this.
Yeah, I need 5 copies.
I received one tire bid, Southern Tire Mart. Thank you.
Oh, is it?
They had 5 ordinance sources. We've been getting, but he wanted to make sure that we got that. The Southern Tire bid. He just listed the, well, a number of, right, also they have sources.
Which is essentially a contract and we go after the city. Now they're the largest tire distributor in the state.
I also received, I'm gonna use that if I can open it this way. One Culver bid. And it was from J&N. You want to pass that around for shoes. And your, one from last year is in your.
We did not get one from contest.
No, and we sent 2 or 3 different places where we were told to send. We received one fuel bid.
Give $2.89.
That might be Sarah.
No, really.
I bet that's 6 gallon fuel cell.
So is that what the 17,000
And also, Zach Burton crushes receipts.
Don't yell at me.
Yes, sir.
Is that road base, is that one inch or that's working?
I thought it was 1 inch.
Stevens County went up about 7.5%.
That worked with us. Same, stayed the same on the
When, you had about say something real quick? Okay. Hey, I just want everybody to know that this mic can pick up everything that y'all are saying, so if y'all could, please step out in the hallway. Thank y'all.
This starts January.
Stevens County, they're up about 7%.
I don't have to go back. It's $15. $30, exactly.
25.
I want to make, can I make a motion on any of this yet?
Are we still opening?
No, I'm through. I gave y'all everything I had.
And your shot, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna do.
No,
I think everyone has a copy of this.
What's your motion? I would like to make a motion on the materials to accept both bids because of convenience in, mileage to pits for different parts of the county.
You're talking about culverts.
The what?
You're talking about rock.
Yeah, I'm talking about rock. To make it, if we accept both bids, we could go to either bid. That way, we don't have mileage differences. If we get
Gotcha.
closer to Stevens County pit, we can use it. If we get to Zach Market closer, it's easier to go in.
and they gave us certificate.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay, so Stacy made a motion to accept both bids of the rock due to the difference in the location between each precinct. Commissioner Craig seconded. Is there any discussion on that? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, so that was rock.
Road material.
Which one's next?
Culverts.
Culverts?
There's only one single bid, so I'm moving to go with that.
Okay, so Jimmy Wiley
Second that also.
made a motion to accept J&N's bid.
And they are 10% cheaper than last year.
Who's seconding it?
Alan?
Okay, Commissioner Craig's gonna second it. So do we have any discussion on the culvert bid? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
We only got one bid on fuel here. What's the difference in leaving it the way it is right now versus, accepting a bid? I can still order from Young County Butane if need be, or I can order from Don's Butane right now. Then I can replace rice. If we go with the open bid, then, we'll be down to one distributor.
So is your motion that you're gonna decline the bid and then just go to, leave each precinct open to shop their bids each time?
That would be my thought. Do we wanna, I'm asking y'all how we wanna do this. And then we just lock ourselves into one distributor since the other ones didn't even send a bid in. Or do we need to lock ourselves in since they didn't?
Well, Scott and Alan, what do y'all think about this? Well, Jimmy, you probably have to abstain if you guys have to.
Feel like we need to know what the price is somewhere or other.
So we just think we need to be able to get a bid either way. Or get a price at from
I
two
think,
separate
I
sources.
think we need to get a bid with a provision that if there's some outside reason, you could have an exception to, you could go someplace else, but only with reason. Not just truly open.
Okay.
We need to lock a price in for the period of the year, so for our budgeting purposes. Which particular fuel are you concerned about?
None in particular, I just wanted to know how we felt about, mainly having one distributor since, that would lock it. I mean, right now, the way we set, I can call either one, have them delivered. But since the other one didn't post a bid, do we need to just lock ourselves into one? That's what I'm asking.
What they did with the culverts.
That nobody else has been there, nobody else has been here, but, I mean,
There is something to participating in the bid process versus not participating.
yeah. It gives us an option though, to if, say the price goes up to
I
one.
feel like if they wanted that option, they should have participated in the bid process.
Okay.
Are you making a motion to accept it?
I make a motion that we accept the one bid.
Okay, so Alan's made a motion to accept the John Butane fuel bid. Scott Shook has seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0-1 with Jimmy abstaining. What's next? Tire bid?
Yes, Southern Tire.
That means bid?
Yes,
How did
and
it look compared,
Well-
was it a reasonable bid?
what they do is they use the government self-contract, and they do it through Bible or Sourcewell, whichever is the cheapest, so it's a government bid.
They do it on, and it wouldn't move the tires, so you
And then, who was that company? What's it called?
Southern.
Southern Tire Mart.
We still use our local tire centers too.
For emergency.
So are we comfortable with that, or we wanna? All right, so Alan's making a motion to accept Southern Tire Mart's bid. Alan, you're gonna second that? Or, I'm sorry, I have you do both. Jimmy's the second.
Do we need that in the, motion about using them in emergencies or not?
I don't think so.
When emergency.
The emergency service,
Well, yeah.
that applies to any of
That's,
them.
that's, all right, so Alan made a motion, Jimmy made a second to accept the, Southern Tire Mart bid for the tires. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Is that it? Okay. Okay, we'll move back up to the receipt of the hotel occupancy tax report. Those are the hot reports. We received $55.75 for April through June 2025 and $0 for July through September 2025 for Ingleside Ranch LLC. We received the hot tax report for $51.40 for November of 2025 from the cabin at Salt Fork Ranch. Item number 4, to discuss and consider the county clerk minutes from December 8th, 2025. Jimmy gave me a couple of comments this morning. Those comments, those changes have been made. We had some wrong dates in, and those have been corrected. Outside of that, any comments on the minutes?
Dates are the main thing I caught.
Huh?
I read the first set, and then the second revised set, I didn't read through yet.
Yeah, the second set said the dates are correct.
Okay,
So Commissioner Wiley's made a motion to accept the minutes. Is there a second?
second.
Second from Commissioner Cresswell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Here you go. If you want to sign those, please. All right, so Jimmy Wiley. 5-0. Item number 5, consider the treasurer's financial report and update on securities pledge. No report. Yeah, we're current through November, correct?
Yes.
So we're doing great on that. Number 6, the auditor's budget amendments and vouchers payable.
So vouchers today, the total is $130,084.21. And out of the general fund, it's $116,153.35. Big items on today's voucher, we paid the $24,000 to the city of Graham for the fire contract,
Oh, okay.
is on here, and the only other large one is, $21,772.80 for a repeater, coming out of the Young County SO dispatch, and I also have a budget amendment on that.
So we had to replace our repeater?
Yes,
Remember, this is the one that we were having trouble with the city of Graham on the walkie-talkies?
Yes.
We're taking the repeater from Cement Mountain, putting it in Radio Hill, which make it from a 50 watt to 100 watt.
Okay.
We're taking the 50 watt from Radio Hill and newscasting, put it on that for the repeater, this SO, and we're installing the new one.
Gotcha. So we're gonna put a more powerful one up
It's
there.
gonna be the 100 also, so.
Perfect.
It's newer updated.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to accept the vouchers payable?
So,
Do we have a second? Okay, a motion from Jimmy, a second from Alan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Also have a budget amendment for that repeater Motorola. We're paying it out of dispatch, other equipment. Asked to take the money out of contingency and move down into that line for $21,773.
21,000,
773.
and so you're taking it from where?
From contingency.
It's not in the budget to do.
No, and it was something that came up that we.
Moving unforeseen.
Okay, do we have a motion for the moving the 21,773 from contingency to dispatch? Other equipment? All right, motion from Commissioner Craig, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Wiley, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, let's move to item number 7, discuss and consider employee bonds. Holly Hurd, Deputy Tax Collector, $5,000. Timmy Lynn Hall, Young County Court Administrator, $5,000. James N. Hammond, Fort Belknap Caretaker, $5,000. Marcia Safety Sumter, Assistant County Auditor, $5,000.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Cresswell. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Shook. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Two.
All right, item number 8, discuss and consider resolution number 133, fiscal year 2026, authorizing the county sheriff to enter into a multi-use agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation, allowing the installation and operation of automated license plate recognition cameras in the Texas Department of Transportation right away. Lieutenant, the floor is yours. That was a mouthful.
Pretty short and sweet. The Commissioners Court gave the blessing for us to be in a multi-use agreement with TxDOT and for the county sheriff to spearhead that.
So let me read the resolution, and I got this one up a little, I changed it a little bit. This is titled Resolution 133, a resolution of the County Commissioners of the County of Young County, authorizing the county sheriff to enter into a multi-use agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation, allowing the installation and operation of automated license plate recognition cameras in the Texas Department of Transportation right away, and providing an effective date. Whereas the County Commissioners of Young County has determined that the addition of automatic license plate recognition cameras will increase public safety and aid the sheriff's office in its crime prevention efforts and strategies. And whereas the county commissioners desires to engage with the TxDOT and ask that Flock Safety be allowed to place ALPR cameras in the TxDOT right of way on behalf of Young County. And whereas the county commissioners find that it is to be in the public interest to authorize the county sheriff to sign a multi-use agreement with TxDOT. Now therefore be it resolved by the county commissioners of Young County that Section 1, the county hereby authorizes the county sheriff to enter into a multi-use agreement with TxDOT for the installation and operation of ALPR cameras in the TxDOT right-of-way. Section 2, the resolution shall take effect immediately upon adoption, passed and approved by the County Commissioners Court of Young County on the 22nd day that today? 22nd day of December 2025. Any discussion on that? Do we have a motion to accept this resolution? We have a motion from Commissioner Wiley. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Craig. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 4-1 with Commissioner Cresswell opposed. Okay. Sign that, please.
Well, I know what to do, I went through the Jack County later. So let me know.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, we're you know what, do you need this resolution? Let's get it stamped. Timmy can make a copy of it, and then that way you can take a copy with you. Sign that, get it stamped, copy. Okay, item number 9, discuss and consider memorandum of understanding, memorandum of understanding, care coordination between Young County Judge and Helen Fairby Center Substance Abuse Services. So this is the normal contract, or not contract, memorandum of understanding that we have with them, where we agree as a county to make referrals of clients to Helen Fairby for substance abuse services, for abuse services, and acknowledge their confidential policies, and that Helen Fairby will be available to us, make referrals based off their policies. It's basically that we're gonna work with them for,
Any changes from last year?
no, I mean, except making it current.
I'd like the motion to accept that.
All right, so we got a motion from Stacy Cresswell. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Craig. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. So execute that. Let's get this stamped and then get a copy of that so that you can send it to them, please. We'll move to item number 11, discuss and consider the application permit to install in the county road right-of-way ditch line for Rothel Pringle Road. Commissioner Craig?
Yes. Jaski's purchased a piece of land right there. There's a large hay field, and he needs to be able to get his hay equipment, trucks in and out. I went and looked at it. Actually shot grade in it. It will require a culvert, 24-inch culvert, 30-foot long, which he's agreed to, so I make a motion that we accept his application for an entry.
Okay, there's a second from that. Second from Commissioner Cresswell. Is there any discussion on this item? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Move to item number 12, discuss and consider the application for approval of subdivision plat located on the west side of RG Loop Road, North Jeffrey Road, for Portfolio Diversified Alpha Limited Partnership and Wyoming Limited Partnership. Commissioner Craig?
They were unable to make the meeting today. I move that we table that.
Tabled. Okay. We'll move to item number 13, discuss and consider the Texas Association of County Health and Employee Benefits Pool Board of Directors election ballot. We received a ballot. There are 5 spots they're asking us to vote for. There's only one person nominated for each one. Spot 1 is Cindy Irwin, who's the Hutchinson County Judge. 2 is Loretta Key, the Eastland County Auditor. Number 3 is Tanner Smith, the Floyd County Commissioner. Number 4 is Matthew Weingart, Valverde County Auditor. And 5 is Richard Rozier, the Ellis County Tax Assessor Collector. Are we opposed to any of those names? If not, do we entertain a motion to vote for the 5 nominated people? Okay, Jimmy makes a motion. Do we have a second? Second from Scott. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Can we get that stamped and then Tim make copies so that we can send our ballot in, please? Item number 14, discuss and consider burn restrictions. Jared, I saw you in here. What are your thoughts?
We've had, we'll say 3 fires if you consider Dave trying to burn down his house last night.
Not me.
So we've had 2 fires since the last Commissioner's Court. Neither one of them would have been prevented from a
Do we
burn
need a
ban.
burn restriction to rein Gabe in?
Just down County Line Road
It's a
only.
new, it's a new stove.
Nobody burned any.
Do we need to rein Gabe's wife in?
That might be, good luck with that, man. If you can do that, good luck.
I don't feel we need one currently. We do have some flat days for rain next week. Winds are supposed to stay down, humidity's been fine, so.
Lots of humidity today and yesterday last night.
Gabe, you good with no action, staying out of a burn ban?
At your house?
No, but everybody's been pretty responsible so far.
This is the first week since we came out of it that there was some chatter where there's been a debate between the different BFDs as far as, I think there's some people that are starting to think that we were close to needing to go back in, so it's just one thing to monitor that, if we're gonna take no action here, which is fine, that we need some rain or we're gonna be going in at some point because it is drying up.
Check that first year.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
we don't do nothing till after the first if we don't do anything today.
Okay, so we're gonna do no action on that. We do have a closed session for personnel reasons, but the person who is gonna lead that is not here yet. So, we can go back to public comments. You know what, let's take a bathroom break and then we'll come back for public comments. That's a good idea.
Anybody have making moves?
No, he goes back. He goes home. Still here, when you're there in the present, you're there
That's not what I said. I'll continue to get up and go on Garland's thing, that's fine. I am with you guys. And I told you, I had not seen any I had not seen that agreement. All I had Whatever it is, well, you know, actually, what was Have they done one? Oh, yeah. Because they didn't match Excuse me, is Tommy the other, whatever Tommy? Yeah, Tommy. I've known him from when he was over at Albany, when he first started.
Kind of later.
I didn't mean to take
No,
your
you
seat. I'm just I have just begun. Yes, Okay, I'll tell her, I'll run it over
Having heat to the tree, I didn't have it yet.
I'm just
Doesn't mean we ain't got Well,
Not where I can hear it on my
He just said this.
Unless they water, they will increase, unless they put in a drip irrigation water.
Alright, is he on his way back? Alright, so we can, everybody have a seat, please. Alright, would anyone like to make a public comment? Everyone please sit down. Gabe, you can go first.
All right, hang on.
All right, I'm gonna speak on a couple of things here, but first off, there's been a lot of emotions, from me as well, but the concern of the citizens, there's 5 or 6 of y'all, there's 5 or 6 of city council. There's 18,000 people in this city, or in this county. The more options we give y'all, the more we do our research, instead of relying on, no offense, 10 or 12 people doing the research. So it's constructive criticism at best.
I agree 100%.
Just take it for that. We're not trying to be ugly.
Thank you for that.
And I'm gonna try to be nice, like I told Wiley. My wife said I need to shave and not cuss. I did the shaving part. I'm not promising anything on the rest of it. So on the data centers, I got a discussion yesterday. Ended up talking to an official in Haskell.
Okay.
They have, and this is just a scenario that may happen here, it may not. Because we don't have a tenant for this specifically. Google is their tenant. Google is providing, because they're looking at 4,000 to 6,000 people coming in there, in a town of 3,100. They're doing an on-site housing. You're gonna feed them 2 meals a day, have their own medical, have their own barber shop, all of that. They're trying to keep them on site. So I'm just throwing that out there as what's coming in different, what's happening in different counties. That could be a possible solution to some of our trouble here, but it could also be a detriment if they're doing that. If they're feeding them, housing them, then any revenue from that many meals or that housing around here is gonna be lost. Just food for thought on that. And the reason I bring that up.
So is that good or bad? So there's a
That's
pro and a con,
a pro and a
right?
con. So
Yes.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, that's info for y'all to lay out. The possibility that I see is where Plug Power was. It has been stated by an employee of Plug Power that that is sold. I don't know, maybe somebody else knows who it's sold to. That comes from the Plug Power people that it's sold. So they have the water, they have the electricity there. Whoever bought that, whether Stream bought it, whether some other individual bought it, is that gonna be their plan to put the main camp there? Nobody knows. It's just something that we need to look into.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they've signed an NDA, or I know Stream already has, but that's here nor there. One thing I think everybody wants is the safeguards. As far as the solar and or the safeguards on the depreciation. In some areas I know they depreciated these, when they get done with the Bakersfield wind farm, they depreciate them down to nearly nothing. Well, they're gonna do that. If the county tries to fight them, the city tries to fight them, it's gonna eat us up in water bills.
Right.
We can't fight them. We can't say, hey, y'all did a breach of contract, we're gonna sue you. They're like, go ahead, we'll see you in court. Y'all ain't got the money to do it. So, just safeguards in, if these things go through, safeguards is what we're looking for. And the other is who's gonna regulate and inspect all these improvements? Like for the data center, if they go in, like we talked one day, you know, every 3-4 years they're replacing servers. Are they gonna tell us that? Are we gonna be inspecting that so we get the tax off of that? That's another concern I've got, is who's gonna be doing inspections?
I think that's gonna, I mean, I don't know the answer exactly, but I'm assuming it's gonna be like every other business, is that they do a you know, they have to render their values, and then the appraisal district does whatever they do it. That's what I'm assuming.
As long as
but
somebody's looking at it.
I assume it's gonna be like every other business.
Is my point. And, people are talking about this, but the actual taxable value versus what they're stating, I don't know how you get to that, and I know you said it's until they get it built, but that's also gonna come different as on this data center, if they build 2 this year and 2 next year, well, inflation, the cost, is it gonna be more of a demand for those? If a company decides, hey, all these data centers are going in, they've already got the contract, but we're gonna charge them 3 times as much to give them their servers now. Well, then that value goes up. See what I'm saying? And as far as, I mean, we've been talking with the city too. I appreciate them for listening to us. As far as that water treatment deal is, the money up front on that, I know y'all have been talking with them as well. And I think it needs to be, this is a conglomerated effort here. If they default, and we've already started on the water treatment deal, then we're stuck with it, so the taxpayers are stuck with it. Unless a good portion of that money is not put up front, I see that being a financial blunder on the taxpayer's part. Like I said, then go back to the lawyer fees on that, trying to fight them once, you're not gonna win. All right, let's move over to solar. That's what we're mainly for here. The main problem I see with this solar thing, besides detriment to the land and everything, the government already sees this. The solar and the wind is not feasible. If the government's not throwing subsidies at it, the government's not throwing money at it, they already think that there's no use in it. The government thinks there's no use in throwing money at it, it's gotta be bad. They throw money at everything. So why are we taking up the government's fight in this? And supplying them with they already get a 50% tax break, and then we're gonna give them more money to move into something that is not, they haven't even made, none of them even made a profit yet. Wind farm or solar. I can't even read my own writing here. And then going to it was in that abatement, however much money for the fire departments and for the sheriff's office. My question is on that, what strings are attached for the fire department and the sheriff's department? Hope I'm not stepping on y'all's toes, speaking for y'all too.
No strings attached.
No strings attached.
When they begin construction, within, I can't remember if it's 30 or 60 days after the start of construction, they will pay the county $300,000, and then the county will determine how that gets split between fire and sheriff's office.
Okay, so it's 300 total.
300
total. Okay. My question is on that. That 300,000 comes in. Is that just a bonus to us? Or is that gonna go into the fund, and like our county budget for our fire is 150, 160? Is that gonna go towards that? To say, well, you got 100, here's your here's your money for next year.
So that's
versus
gonna be,
on top of additional to
that'll be Commissioners Court's kind of discretion to do it. My personal opinion is that would be that whatever portion we allocate towards the sheriff's department will be an increase that we use for overtime for the sheriff's department so that they can have, this is just my view as what this money would be used for. Is so that the sheriff department will have more overtime so that they can have more people in that area. And then what would go to the volunteer fire department would just be a gift on top of what the county gives, but we'll have to vote as a group on that.
Well, that was my question on that, whether it was a gift or whether it was gonna go towards next year's budget.
In my opinion, if we give y'all, say, $100,000 of it to the fire department, I think, in my opinion, we need to make sure we got the equipment to fight those type of fires with.
Well,
Add that fire.
Okay, here's the caveat to that, though. You're looking at 4 years for a new, what is it, 2 years for a new vehicle? Maybe 2 years for a new sheriff vehicle. We're looking at 3 at best per truck. We put in a grant. The grants are not out there right now.
Yeah.
We probably wouldn't get it, I'm looking at maybe 5 years before we get a truck. Value right now.
But this wouldn't be a grant, we would have the money.
This would be
I
money.
understand that, but
But
you
lead
can't
time,
get.
you're not leading that.
But lead time, I don't care if you walked up to Steel Fire in Haskell right now and said, here's $500,000, give me a truck. No, you're in line, there's 90 trucks in front of you. So it's 3 to 4 years out, at 300,000 base. So, although the 100,000 would be good, that's not gonna,
No, it won't cover
it's not
everything.
gonna cover anything, we're 3 to 4 years out. I'm just saying that looks fine and good on paper, give us 100, give them 200, that ain't gonna last.
Well, I'm just saying,
I'm just gonna,
The sheriff's office would be happy to take the whole thing, I feel confident. So if it doesn't help you, I'm sure they'll be happy with it.
I'm just saying that looks like a whole lot of money. But when you're looking at these investments
Yeah.
of what it's going to invest into, it's not. When it's $100,000 for a sheriff vehicle and $300,000 for a.
Understand.
What I'm saying is we need special equipment, special respirators, things of that nature, that hopefully we can afford to get that where we need it in the first year.
Thank you.
Just real quick, because you have had a turn, is there anyone else that wants to turn before Tommy goes again? No, you can go, but let's let everyone else have a turn first, too, please. You're refusing to let someone else go?
No, you're the judge, you got to talk about, you'll be good now later.
I would let everyone have a turn before someone has a second turn.
We already had enough time arguing right here, I couldn't do what I was gonna say.
Okay, Tommy, you may have your second turn.
Okay.
I apologize to everyone
If
else.
you will, just don't interrupt him and just go ahead. Guys, this is not opinion, these are facts. The numbers that you're talking about, that 300,000, that's equivalent to about 30,000 a year, over a 10-year period, okay? All right. Any way you slice your tax abatement agreement that you have drawn up, with $500,000 value, 400,000, 300, whatever, it's equivalent, the number comes out to equivalent of a 20% tax abatement. And you said yourself that number, you didn't know what that number would be because you don't know what the value of the project is gonna be, right?
You want me to speak?
You say, ask you a question, yes?
Okay. No, we don't know what the value is going to be.
Okay, so you don't know what that tax abatement is gonna be.
I mean, how can you say it's 20% if you can't give a number either?
Because if you look at these numbers that I've given you guys, you don't push it back in, I took my mailing to you, and I ask you to please let me know, I wanna be right. I don't wanna be wrong. I wanna be right. And I've asked you guys to look at them and change them, and you've seen the email, none of you responded. If they're wrong, let me know. None of you have ever given me the courtesy of a response. Okay? That's what I'm asking about. The tax on the deal that you have rigged up right now, you, on the agreement you have at $500,000, that's gonna cost the county about $298,000 a year for the abatement portion of it. That's just the way the math works, guys. You're CPA, you can figure that stuff better than anybody. So, I ask you to please allow me the courtesy of at least looking at these things, instead of just saying, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Show me where I'm wrong.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
So, do you think the arbitrary number of what it costs to put it in, is that the right number to use? Or the number the appraisal district is gonna come out with of value is the right number to use? Which is the right number to use?
What do you have to live with what appraisal is using?
Okay.
Okay.
So, a couple weeks ago, I put in there what the last two appraisal districts, what they value solar farms at per installed megawatt capacity. So you can compare that to what our pilot payment is. And if you do that, you're gonna show that the pilot payment's gonna come in higher than what the appraisal district is gonna value the solar farm at. Assuming our appraisal district comes in at similar values that the last two appraisal districts
How
are.
does the appraisal district arrive at value?
How do they come up with it? They hire a consultant firm to come in and appraise it.
Where's this $500,000 number come from, you plug in?
It's a back end of what the pilot payments would equate to.
Right.
So it's a
That's
back
right,
end.
and that's a 20% tax abatement.
Well, how do you get that?
I've shown you on the math, this is not my opinion, this is the math, guys, you won't look at it. You haven't looked at it, you haven't responded to it. It's a 20% tax abatement, it's gonna cost us about $3 million for the life of that contract.
And my response to that is,
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. The pilot payment is gonna come in higher than the appraisal district will value it at. So that
How do you
doesn't.
How do you know that?
Because I'm taking the last two appraisal district values for solar farms that came on the tax rolls this year.
Where?
Was, I have to go to my Facebook page, oh wait, it's, I can tell you what counties that was, it was.
Well, I thought you agreed on the value with the solar company.
It was.
You don't?
No, we never agreed on the value with them.
I said, I thought that's what you.
The, Bosque County and Lamar County. Bosque County, their appraisal district came in at $900,621 per installed megawatt. Lamar County came in at $889,637 per installed megawatt. We're coming in a little bit over 1.1 million per installed megawatt. So.
How do you know you're getting that to the appraisal district? You don't know.
Nobody knows
Those are
that.
hypothetical numbers you're talking about.
So are the ones that you're working
Everything's
with.
Yes, it is, but it's all.
The numbers you're working with are
But it is all
hypothetical.
relative, guys. It's all relative. It always is a 20% tax
No,
abatement. Yes, it is.
The
Show
pilot
me the
payment is
difference.
not a
Show me the difference.
hypothetical.
Show me the difference. Show me the math. Show me your math.
Okay.
It's right here.
All right, who's next?
You always push it back.
Tom?
There it is.
I gotta go. Gentlemen, thank you. Tom Parker, citizen of Alton. I'm not here as the OEDC. I did meet with some folks last week about an abatement meeting.
Okay.
And what was brought up, Arwen brought up his request for additions to the pilot payment contract. I told him that I had not read that contract, I had looked at the financial side of it, that was it. I don't see anything in here that is egregious or difficult to do. I think I'm gonna go back to a meeting that I had with some folks that were meeting with Don Sexton and his campaign and him coming out. I think Young County at this point needs to look at this whole process as a process of addition as opposed to subtraction. We need more people, more information, more participation in order to get all of this information out for everybody, yourselves and them. I'm watching this outside, I'm here, but this isn't going well. I humbly request that this be made part of it or something like this, and I think we need to do more on the way that pilot that pilot agreement is written. It's great, I applaud the work that you're doing, it's all good as far as I'm concerned. It needs more work. On the pilot, is there a basement? Is there a bottom to it? What is that bottom, and what would their minimum payment be per year?
The basement is,
Again, I haven't read it, so I don't.
the basement is, the minimum on the solar aspect of it is, moved it. Hang on, it's in here. There is a floor. Let me just find it.
And it's based on the minimum number of megawatts. Times the
Valuation.
value.
Yes, here it is. Okay, so here it is, because it got moved. For the solar farm, the minimum, I need to write all this down, because I've got to add two things up to get to the power. But the minimum is, doesn't matter how many megawatts they put in, a minimum of 270 megawatts. So if they build 250 megawatts, they're gonna pay for 270 megawatts. And 270 megawatts would be, a pilot payment of 600, for the solar farm would be 658,530. And the solar, and the battery component, the minimum is 360 megawatts. So that would be a minimum of 600. I did that wrong. We did that wrong.
960.
Yeah, that's.
Three, I punched
My
wrong
brain
number
went
in there.
ahead, that's where I was at.
Would be, did it again. 360 times 102, there it is. Would be a minimum of $370,080. So you add those two together, 658,530. The minimum of $1,028,610 per year.
Thank you, gentlemen, that's a really good number considering what you've got for both
Yes.
That's, thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Judge, what was your minimum battery number?
The minimum battery number is $370,080.
No, I mean the watts or whatever.
The minimum for the battery is 360 megawatts.
360. Thank you.
We're anticipating 400 megawatts, but the minimum is, no matter what, they're paying for 360 megawatts. All right, next question. Yes?
Hey guys, Debbie Rhodes here. So, one thing I wanted to ask on page 4, about the second paragraph of the proposal. You guys have a date of Commissioner's Court on January 12th, 2025. Is that a typo?
What are you looking at?
That thing that you gave us?
12/26 is what it is. Get your typo.
The thing that you guys
Yes.
gave us?
Yes, that is a typo.
Oh, that should be 2026.
It's January.
I thought so, but I thought I'd bring it to your attention.
Yeah, it's
Can we
2026.
get that fixed in a minute?
We already changed that.
We already changed.
Y'all had, okay, perfect. So one of the things I wondered is, have they said how long, and they may have, I just don't remember, how long the construction phase?
1 year.
1 year?
Well, I mean, according to this abatement, for this abatement to be good, they have to be operational by 12/31, I think it's 2028.
28.
Is it 20? Yeah. Wait. I'm sorry. The owner anticipates that the project and improvements will achieve commercial operation by no later than December 31st of 2028. In the event that the project and improvements do not achieve commercial operations before January 1st of 2029, the county's sole remedy shall be to cancel this agreement. So if they're not operation by January 1 of 2029, this agreement is void.
They're supposed to break ground, have they got any, they don't have a
No,
suggestion?
commercial operations.
Okay.
Now, they can actually, they can declare commercial operations and pay full value even if it's not all in. So they have the option to do that.
Okay.
But they don't have the option to not be operational and not have this agreement kick off in full force.
Okay, gotcha. So what's come to my mind recently is thinking about all the things. Of course, there's the other data center that you guys haven't got a proposal on, but we know they're out there. And the Catalyst Solar Farm, they're out there too. And we don't know the time span except for the data center. And we know it's gonna be 5 to 10 years if all that goes through. And that means we're looking at about 4 huge construction sites
Maybe.
going at the same time, possibly.
Maybe possibly.
Very possibly, but it is a possibility. And if you think about that and all the different directions and where those trucks are gonna be running, then it's gonna be, in my mind, catastrophic to our town. And I just want all y'all to keep that in mind as these things are coming in. You know, we have a tendency to just focus on one thing at a time. But if you look a little more forwardly and realize that's a lot of traffic for our small little town, and that's part of what's got a lot of us stirred up and worried. One of the other things, I'm back to the abatements on the data center, and if they need sewer, can the city not put stipulations on that sewer?
City can do whatever it wants.
So, right, but you guys talk, I mean,
We
it's a
do.
small town, so it's possible that you don't have to give them abatements to get what you want, and you can let the city put stipulations on that sewer line. I mean, is that an option?
Everything's done. They have not requested an abatement yet.
Right, but.
So we haven't even, we don't even know what they're gonna ask for.
Right, but we know they are.
I feel confident that they're gonna ask for
From our
something.
conversation with Oshing, they are gonna.
I'm
ask
not
something.
sure what they're gonna ask for.
Gotcha, and I'm not asking you to guess, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, when that time comes,
Everything's on the table.
can you keep in mind, because that's what you guys kept saying, if we don't give abatements, we don't have any control over what they do. Well, can we keep in mind that the city has some leverage?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
that's,
sure.
it's a possibility that we don't have to give abatements for that reason.
I personally wouldn't even wanna start working on anything until I know what the city's deal is.
Exactly. But just keep that in mind, they do have leverage on that sewer line.
Absolutely they do.
So,
The city has a
They got
ton.
leverage on the sewer and water at this
The
point.
city has more leverage than we do.
so, then maybe, well, they don't need abatement from the county, because, I mean, my understanding is the abatement's huge. And that just came from
Yeah.
my conversation with him. That's a big deal to them. And so, of course, you know what I'm thinking, I don't want them. So you don't give them an abatement, they may not even come. And then all your problems are solved and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, that's true.
This part of your problem.
This part of the problem.
And I will say, and I don't know, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but though I don't like high taxes, I'd a whole lot rather pay higher taxes than deal with this data center. That's just my thoughts. Thank you.
I got one more thing. Going on that from speaking to the ones in Haskell, their crime rate their call rate has already gone up 120% since they've started construction up there. So going back to that money that the sheriff's office is gonna need, that's not gonna be a drop in the bucket for what they're looking at, what we're looking at as a community. So something, whether it's, I mean, we're not looking for anything out of it from the fire department, but I would rather see it go to law enforcement to hire more to curtail all this than having citizens having to hold the brunt of it.
So you kind of bring in an interesting point. So I've been building a list of things that we want to, that if we went down the road with a data center.
That ain't a big enough book, man.
Well,
let me have that book and I'll fill the rest of it.
here are things that I've come up with so far. So I think we would want 10 deputies with 10 vehicles and 10 equipment during this construction phase. So you need that to have 2 additional patrol vehicles 24/7. So you need.
talking solar or data?
I'm talking data center.
Okay.
I assume that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, I mean, there's gonna be,
Multiple.
no offense, it's gonna be the same type crew going to do the construction.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they are out there, they're gonna be going back and forth. Just being blunt, there ain't enough bars here in town for them people to go. The ones in high school are going to, Abilene, is what it said, they're more going that, because Abilene's got more bars, high school's a little town. So, go ahead with your.
So got that, got 45 decibel limit, lighting restrictions, 300-foot setback from all property lines, 50% of the site maintained as a green space. Construction workers bus to site, so create a parking lot somewhere and have, I've already been talking to Eric about this, about having some sort of bus route so you have buses going to the site versus all the cars. Additional traffic plan for the construction site, sales tax declaration for Graham and Young County, obvious contributions to the volunteer fire department, and then mandatory training opportunities, commitment not to drill water wells on the site, preferential treatment on hiring Young County labor, both temporary and permanent. And if the Graham city limits ever touches any part of their property line, that they would voluntarily annex into the city. That's kind of my working list so far.
Okay, something that we went over.
Work in progress.
Something we went over with that was brought up at the city council, somebody spoke on it. The data deal is in one of the most dangerous roads in the most dangerous spots. I don't know, there's gotta be some sort of solution for that. Coming off Spivey Hill, coming off that, and if they do end up taking the hydrogen deal over there, which if it was my deal, that's what I would make that a man camp over there. You have coming off
agree
of
with the
209.
traffic part, and
You have 209 coming off that hill, that's one of the most dangerous intersections.
Yeah.
Between that and 701, 67.
I'm with you on that. I'm sure there's something's gonna have to happen with that road. TxDOT's gonna come in and have to do some work on that. There's no doubt about that. But that's part of the traffic study, traffic plan that we need to figure out. Cause I don't pretend to know what needs to be done on that.
It's gonna be an engineering nightmare.
Can I ask, when you brought up the sales tax,
Mhm.
are they not eligible for that rebate after they pay that from, what is it, House Bill 2332? Doesn't it come from local government 380, 381? They actually can get a rebate for that sales tax, local and state?
I don't know what type of special deals they have on sales tax. I don't know. the answer to that.
So what I'm saying is, if you're gonna make that part of your stipulation, y'all might look into that and
Yeah.
make sure they can't get a rebate back for that.
I agree. I mean, you'd hate to work real hard on that and
Yeah.
get that and then not get
Yeah.
anything out of it.
There's-
But if
there's
there's some sort of loophole on that, I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, well, that would be something you'll wanna look into.
Oh, yeah. No, we're gonna have to hire consultants and lawyers. I mean, we're gonna have to get help.
But the more y'all share your ideas, just like you shared your ideas, and we all share whether we're for or against it. I'm against it, but if there's somebody for it, Andy Jones is here, he might have something from his side of it. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
The
just,
more,
as
the
I'm
more
hearing things, I'm
suggestions you
keeping
got,
a list.
the more suggestions you have from
Sure.
more people, the better off it's gonna help.
But you can take that list, give that to Eric, put that on the sewer line,
Sure.
and then we don't have to give them maintenance.
I understand your train of thought.
Just making sure.
I understand your train of thought.
So, I got one more follow-up question, that just kind of popped up. So the 300,000 for the volunteer fire departments and the sheriff, do we have, we all know that we need new equipment, masks, respirators, all sorts of things. Do we have what that budget will take to be able to get us up to par to fight those fires? Will we have that before we vote, before you all vote on it for an abatement?
But those issues are issues that we have whether we have a solar farm or not. We constantly need new equipment and better equipment and.
Agreed, but we also,
better
we may have
stuff.
to fight fires that are different fires than what we're prepared for. and have the
Lithium
equipment for.
batteries, that takes a
So,
chemical.
I'm just asking if we will have that analysis to make sure
We
that
will
there's
not.
enough money covered.
We will not. But what we will have, potentially, if we did it, we'll have money to purchase that stuff. I mean, we'll have, that's,
I think what he's asking is if you don't know how much that costs, do you know if you're getting enough money from them to cover those costs up front? That's what the concern is.
Well, where did the 300,000 come from? Did we build a budget and say, we're gonna need this, we'll fight it, sink this into it so we're prepared or
the
not?
300,000 was a number we had, it was just a negotiated number. Because we asked for
We asked for the
considerable.
very most that we think we can get.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My name's Mike Neal. My dad held your job, Jack Neal held your
Oh,
job
okay.
at one time. All this would be completely unnecessary if we just said no to all of this. We wouldn't have to, we could go over there and look at Alney's city plan where they have plenty of industry over there, and so many of our people here in Graham have to drive over there to work every day. Let's just get some industry here, not this stuff from Russian, Chinese, Middle Eastern people coming in and building stuff that we don't even want. Yeah, it sounds like, well, Mr. Graham, that you're arguing their point most of the day as if it's a stated fact that they're gonna be here. Is that true?
What are we talking about, though?
Are
you talking about the data center?
The data center.
I don't know if they're gonna be here or not. I don't. I think that they want to be here, and I think that they're trying really hard to be here. But do I know that they're coming 100% or not? I do not.
Well, I just want all the commissioners to know that your decisions are gonna be noted, and your jobs will be in jeopardy if you don't do what the majority of the citizens in the
It's
town
easy
want.
as just saying no.
And say no to it,
No.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna help us. This is gonna be a complete catastrophe, all this stuff coming in. Just bring some good, steady industry into town and let that be what makes our town.
What would that be?
Pardon?
What would that be?
But that's up to y'all now.
No, it's not.
It's not our.
Well, how did Alney get it?
Well, I'll tell you, Leland came in there on a motorcycle with an idea. On their track.
What, do any of y'all have ideas?
Is he here? Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
Welcome.
Okay, well, that's all I want to say.
Leland's still having.
Thank
He had more than an idea.
Okay,
I'm saying that.
No, you don't. He had more than an idea.
okay, yeah, go ahead, go one thing and then everyone's here for our closed session meeting.
I wasn't gonna say anything, I was just gonna kind of sit here and listen today, but, I'm Andy Jones, I am the representative for Headwaters. Now, that just all came about, I've been fighting for the same for a lot longer than that came about. But keep in mind, guys, first of all, I'm a Young County citizen. I care about what's happening in Young County. I'm a Young County citizen first. We're gonna have our office open on the 20th of January. I'll be there 2 days a week to answer questions or by appointment. I don't have all the answers, but I have a lot of industry knowledge, okay? I also have certain guarantees from Stream Headwaters as far as what we're gonna have happen in the community's benefit. And also, there's gonna be some things like construction that, well, you can't make it up. There's nothing ever pretty about construction, right? So, but I have some answers. I'll get answers if I don't have them. But I live here in Young County, and I fought for Young County before I ever fought for a company. Because I just left a real good job that'd take me back in a heartbeat if I wanted to. And if something don't line up, I'll tell you straight up, I'll walk away from that project because my integrity is more important than the project is. So that's my promise to y'all. I wasn't gonna say anything, but since my name is
I put
Mr.
you
Brad.
on the spot.
That's all right. But anyway, so just wanted to let y'all know that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Do you have a card?
Oh, yeah.
Sir.
All right, so I'm gonna move that we go to our closed session. This is under Texas Government Code 551.074 regarding personnel matters.